Patrick Mahomes with the behind-the-back pass. I asked him last year after one of their wins when we're going to see it in a game, and they still have it in the arsenal. At the right time, he will do the behind-the-back pass. One of these days, Patrick Mahomes will throw it behind the back. So, training camp storylines, obviously he's doing that at training camp. What are the big storylines we're watching? Chris, we don't have a trivia question for today, so I will give you, as I always do, the first pick. Most intriguing training camp storylines, go.
Well, I think the one that there's some really good ones. I think the one that's top of the list to me is the 49ers and the quarterback situation. Just that all together, Again, I don't mean to bundle it up, but I mean, Trey Lance, his development and what they do with Jimmy Garoppolo and how that unplays, yes, is fascinating to me. Yes, because of, all what they traded to get Trey Lance to the number 3 pick, what Jimmy Garoppolo has done for that team, the fact that he made a power play and got surgery, I think, right before he knew he was going to get traded to some team he didn't want to get traded to, and then add on the fact that the 49ers are a Super Bowl team, just like we were saying last year. They're a Super Bowl team. The 49ers, there is not really a weakness on their team, and that to me makes it fascinating. I'm very intrigued to see where that all goes.
It was odd last week that someone felt compelled to sell the idea as news that the 49ers had given Garoppolo permission to seek a trade because they had given that permission back in March, and it was news back then. So I think they're not getting what they want.
Right.
I think this is going to be a mess, and I think they are ready to move on and hand the ball to Trey Lance. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore, will he practice without a contract? Will he get a contract? These are answers we're going to get this week as it relates to whether he practices without one. Will they be able to work this out? We went for months with Lamar not interested in doing a deal. He's been interested lately. No deal done yet. That's going to hover over the Ravens until it gets resolved, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It's a crazy story. Again, it's a guy that we know. I mean, I got to think, even without knowing any details at all, that there's at least a contract on the table that's close to Kyler Murray or in that department. I got to think there's one there for him to be had, and it just doesn't seem like maybe he wants that yet or just not comfortable with some of the terms of it. I don't know. But the Ravens are still damn good, like we were talking about the 49ers, a team I think we look at and go, for Super Bowl conversation, special player. So I'm with you there, Mike. It's a crazy story. It really is. Damn, I didn't mean to go like QB-centric here. But, I mean, again, just the Browns. How can I not bring that up, too? The Browns is the next one to me. Just like you talked about with the Ravens and we talked about with the 49ers, and the Browns team is stacked. They're stacked. They are a team that is, again, if you told me they were, going to be in the Super Bowl with a normal quarterback situation, I'd go, yeah, okay, I can believe it. But I don't know what's going to happen now with Jacoby Brissett. How long Deshaun Watson will get suspended? When is that actually going to happen? I will say I've gone past the point of I don't think he's going to get suspended for a year. I think it's going to be 10 games, somewhere in that range. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm still fascinated at how it all plays out there in Cleveland.
We reported last week at PFT that the Browns are privately bracing for an 8-game suspension. Some folks in the know peg it between 2 and 8 games. There's a real difference between the court of public opinion and the court of Judge Sue L. Robinson. The NFL ultimately presenting evidence of 4 accusers, not 24, and we spent a lot of time with PFT OT during the 5-week hiatus talking about that case. We're on verdict watch now. Sue Robinson's decision on Deshaun Watson can come at any time, subject to appeal to Roger Goodell, unless she issues no discipline whatsoever. Next one for me, Packers. The receivers, Christian Watson, the guy walking through the door with plenty of pressure. Sammy Watkins, free agent arrival. Who steps up and fills the Devontae Adams void? And what's Aaron Rodgers' overall vibe and demeanor? We saw he's got that ornate tattoo on his forearm. And remember, last year it was his first media availability, press conference of training camp, where he went on and aired grievances about the team. That's going to be coming up this week. What's he going to say this year? How much is he going to talk about retirement? He's been saying a lot about his thoughts on retirement. Are we going to get any glimpses to whether or not this may be his last year in Green Bay? He's got that contract, but it lets him walk away, Chris, at any time. So the Packers are going to dominate because pre-Devontae Adams, you look at him as one of the favorites. Without Devontae Adams, I don't know what to think of the Packers.
I don't either. I mean, the division helps them. I know you brought that up a few times back in the spring to where, yeah, they're going to be, one of the – but how good are they? How dominant are they? I don't know. And then the team that I know you and I talked about last year going, can you really win the Super Bowl just on execution and we won't mess the game up? And now you're going to miss a guy that was a huge part of that execution, and you're going to depend on young guys that aren't used to, wait for it, executing play-by-play in the NFL level yet. That, to me, is a big question with you. I'm with you, Mike, there. I look at Green Bay, again, as I did last year. They're a playoff team that's going to get overrated and talked about as a Super Bowl team because of Aaron Rodgers, but they're not. In my eyes, they are not a Super Bowl football team. Wow. All right, last one here. Damn, there's some good ones here left on. I think I'm going to just Tua is on my radar for sure. Brady and last year, but I'm going to go up the road from you a little bit. The Steelers quarterback situation. Well, Steelers, I still think they view themselves as a team that can, be a pain in the butt in the AFC. The quarterback situation has been pretty quiet. They've done a good job there. I don't hear much about who's got the edge or what's going on, but I will be interested. Just number 20 pick in the draft. You gave Mitchell Trubisky a little money. He's got talent. He was the number 2 pick in the draft. I'm interested to see how that plays out. And then you add Mason Rudolph into the conversation as well.
I believe it's going to be Trubisky.
Yeah, I do too.
First crack at it.
Yeah.
And then if he gets injured, enter Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Or if he just fails, enter Kenny Pickett. But they're going to try to make it work short-term with Trubisky while they develop Pickett, especially because Pickett needs some time. He needs some time. I mean, we talked about it at length prior to the draft, how this quarterback class maybe not nearly as good as some of the ones we've seen or will see in future years. I will go with the entire Tua Tyreek situation in Miami. When you throw on top of it the item from Barry Jackson, the Miami Herald, a couple of weeks ago that raised the possibility, if it is a bad enough year in Miami, that Stephen Ross will still try to do the Sean Payton-Tom Brady combo for 2023. I thought that was dead when they hired Mike McDaniel, or it's McDaniel-Brady in 2023. But there's some sneaky pressure on Tua. Well, clear pressure on Tua, but sneaky pressure on Mike McDaniel, Chris.
I think so, too.
And Tyreek Hill has done nothing to decrease the pressure on Tua. He has only increased it with everything he says on his podcast. I still think that podcast, not a good idea if you're going to talk about Tua and try to pump him up. The expectations are going to be too high. The margin for error is going to be too small. And we'll see. Hey, it's up to Tua at this point, but there's no excuses for him in 2022.
No, I think everything you said it does. It makes it very fascinating. And then I think also, too, when you add on to that, and I'm not saying anything you don't know here, just as the roster is damn good. I mean, forget just Tyreek Hill was added. It's one of the best rosters in football on paper. So that's where you look at it and go, wait, how does this play out? And no crap, Sean Payton's got his eye on that job. He's looking at those players going, damn, I'd like to coach those guys. So I hear you. I think it is a sneaky year as far as for Mike McDaniel and the Tua conversation for sure.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.